Good afternoon. Antonio, welcome, buddy.
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Going so well, man. It's so good to see you here.
Hello, hello.
Bone, what's happening? Get all these note takers out of here, and we will get started in just a second. Antonio, where are you from, buddy?
Chicago.
Oh, nice, dude. What part of the town?
I'm out of Forest Park.
Forest Park. Someone told me all the Italians live in all the parks. Is that right?
That's pretty close.
Nice.
Melrose Park.
Yeah.
Oak Park.
Yep.
Not too far off.
Sorry for the delay here, guys. We're just shoveling again. Trying to pull everything up. Luke, what's happening, buddy?
What's going on, Mike? Good to see you. Been a while.
Well, you as well. Higgs, Trey, what up? How you doing? Dude, good.
Is it as bad in Mass as it is down here?
Dude, it's so bad. I forget where you are, but it's so bad, dude. We got like another foot and a half, and with the wind gust, same thing. It's like, but none of the old snow melted.
Yep.
So now it's like literally like to my head. And I'm like, you shovel, it's just impossible. I don't know what to even do. How about you?
Same. I'm being in New York. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, dude. New York, same thing. You're like, where is it going?
Yeah, literally.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. So last time we were talking about how to make yourself scalable. And to do that, you want to make sure that you're documenting items, that you're making homework for items instead of doing the items. Meaning, if I want the whole team, if I want to start having a manager underneath me in the future, I'm like, I'd love to see. I'm sure a lot of us are like, well, I think like in maybe a year or so, probably have to have another manager to manage new hires. Cool. Well, for you to be able to have that person hired today, you need to be writing down all the stuff that you are doing. Try to create a framework, and we'll talk about this a little bit today. Try to create a framework out of what it is that you're doing, and then create homework for people. So you'd be like, hey, what's up, new hire person, manager? Here's how I run one-on-ones. Here's a document of what I do in the first 10, second 10, third 10. Here's your script. Here's a recording of me doing it. Can you go run a one-on-one? Or sorry, after listening to the recording, please answer what you noticed interesting about the personal, professional, and future. Can you answer what is the specific format I was using in the future section? Now, can you send me a recording of you doing one? So that can all be written in one little page that says like, me delegating one-on-ones, 10, 10, 10, video, couple of questions. Now I can onboard a manager to that task without having to run hours of training or hand-holding with them at all. Make sense? Cool. Also, for those of you guys that updated to the new Mac OS, there's a new thing called the Edge Light. So it actually puts, here, I'll show you. It's kind of cool. I don't know if it'll show you. Does it show you this like light around the edges? Or is it not letting you see that?
Okay, no? Don't see it.
Well, either way, if you end up using, if you update to the new Mac OS, at the top of the screen is a little FaceTime bar. If you hit that, you hit Edge Light, it basically puts one of those like influencer lights in your thing if you need light. All right. Anyways, that's not important. Let's talk today about the next section here. As I bring up the next section, I wanted to finish off the last section talking about frameworks. This is what the higher up in an organization you go. Sorry, I was all over the place. I'm locked in now. Okay, welcome. The higher up in an organization you go, the less words you're allowed to say. And you're a sales rep. I can go, what's happening with your deals? And you're going to go, oh, I met him here. We did this. Blah blah blah. If I go to the CEO of your company, if I go to Jeff Bezos and I go, what's happening with the company? And he's like, oh, well, you're gonna be like, holy shit, does he have any idea what the fuck's going on? You'd expect Jeff Bezos to be like, there's 3 things happening at the company. We have our customers, we have our operations, and we have our retailers. And then he's like, got it locked in. Same thing, a presidential candidate, top of the government. Imagine if they had 2 minutes to speak and they were like, yeah, there's like all sorts of different things I think we should do. We should totally like do the board. No, you want to hear like, listen, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do that. Makes you respect them, makes you trust them, makes them memorable, and makes the things they want to make change on easier to get on board with. So I want to talk about frameworks for a second. I'll go to you, Bone.
Yes.
Let me go to somebody else.
Okay.
Because I don't want to, because you know a lot of like our stuff, so I don't want to like muddy your waters with like Mike Manzi jargon. Bromley, when you go out in the, you got a rep who sucks. You got to go out in the field. You got to hang out with them for the day. What are you doing? What are a couple things? Don't try to speak in a framework right now. I'm just like asking you one-to-one. What are you doing to like make sure that this rep does better?
Like triaging, basically. Like, are they doing the basic things that I need them to do? Like the day one stuff, because usually, if they suck, they're probably not beyond like 30 days or 60 days. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be here.
Okay. But what are you? So you're just listening?
Yeah, like, are they on script? And then do they have like, or do they sound robotic? If they are on script, if they're not on script, that's obviously the number one triage.
Cool. So what I just heard you say is this. Hey, so when I want to evaluate people in the field, I have a 3-step process that I use. I look at the scripting, the robotics, and the basics. They need to have I call it the SRB, the scripting, the robotics, and the basics. So first is to check if they have the scripting right. Second is to check that the scripting that they're doing is making them robotic. And third is to make sure they have the basic fundamentals of sales down. Heck, you might even get really fancy and call it SURF. We have the scripting, we have the robotics, and the fundamentals. And I just add the U to make it fun. That's why I can remember it. This is how Chef came to be, by the way. Chef isn't a thing. Chef, as I was thinking through, what are the things I do to make sure the change happens? Oh, there's 3 categories of those things. Okay, how can I make those 3 categories memorable? Oh, I guess that's kind of clarity. That's kind of help. Oh, this is like Chef. Oh my God, E for execute. Perfect. That's how that worked. And you guys can remember Chef. So you can now remember. So Matt, if you wanted to train another manager on how to do this, if you were to be like, yeah, man, so you want to check this, like, is he sounding dumb here? Like, you want to see, see what he said here? That was like not really scripted. And you see this guy over here? He sounds like really robotic. And you see this is kind of like off script, but he's like not getting the fundamentals right. If I heard that from you, I would not know what to look for. I would just be like, I got a couple of examples of things that Matt happened to show me. So like nothing sat in my brain. Whereas if you said, hey man, you want to look at surf, the scriptedness, the roboticness, and the fundamentals. So for example, here's where you get the see what he did there? That was off script. You see what he did here? That was the fundamentals. You see exactly that too. But the pause down pause, PDP, easy to remember. So I just want you guys, you're going to see you see a lot of this in the program. Chef, PDP, 10-10-10. Hell, SAS Academy had me speak at one of their events, and in preparation for like their speakers, they're like, hey, when you come to speak, please make sure you put things into frameworks. And they have their guy, Dan Martell, do a whole thing on frameworks. But it really comes down to it's either a shape or an acronym. Hey, this is my triangle for success. These are my 3 tips for success. This is my chef for success. It's all the same thing, but it's much better than saying you want to make sure that you're clear. You know, it's important that you're helping people, and you also want to make sure that you're following up. That's not memorable. Chef is memorable. Where do I use this? If you're interviewing, this is the most critical thing you're doing for you. We think that when we're interviewing, we're supposed to do the example. They go, tell me a time when. We go, here's a time when. That doesn't work. I don't know what the STAR method is, but there's some other bullshit. But really, what you want to be doing is showing a complete understanding of a topic is to be able to categorize it. So if I were to say, yeah, when I run teams, I want to motivate them in a variety of ways. I make sure that I got a good relationship with them. I want to make sure that, I'm helping them in a lot of ways. A good example of me helping a rep is this one time where, I took his deal and I called the manager and got this thing done for him. So there's a variety of ways, terrible answer. Yeah. When it comes to motivating, I believe that there's 2 sides to that coin. The first side is the personal. Second side is the professional. So on the personal side, you want to make sure that you're helping them and you're listening to them. And on the professional side, you want to make sure that you're actually helping them close their deals, getting cash in their pocket. So this is one time I helped this rep and close this deal or whatever. Significantly better. Because it makes you feel like I have a much bigger understanding. Now, there's a lot of times where it's great to be seen as someone who has a great understanding. In a sales pitch, listen, when we go around your house today, we want to make sure we're looking for the 4 P's of fucking marketing, whatever. The 4 P's of what we're trying to do. There's 4 things you always want to make sure we're checking: the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. Cool. This guy has a process. I feel good about this. The other time that this is really important is managing. So when you go to your boss, can anybody remember what my framework is for talking to your boss? 3 questions. Or not 3 questions. I guess it's just 3 words. What? Nobody. What?
It's like, here's what's going on. Here's why. Here's what I'm doing about it.
That's my dog, dude. That's my dog. Yes. What, why, so what? Okay. What, why, so I heard you getting it too. So that is, I mean, that's a framework in itself. But the point is more like, if you were to say to your boss, if your boss were to come and be like, dude, what the fuck is going on in your region? And you were to just talk openly, he's going to leave thinking like you're not quite getting it. I'm lost. I got to dive in. I'm going to go micromanage this guy now because I don't understand what the hell's going on. right? And I don't know if he gets it. So if instead you're like, hey, boss, there's 3 things I want to tell you what's going on. I want to tell you what's happening, why it's happening, so what's going on. Okay. Or when something is happening in an org as bad as it's happening in my region, I want to make sure I'm giving you the full pyramid, the baseline of what's happening, the next level of why that's happening, and then ultimately the top of the pyramid, which is what I'm doing about it. Now I'm like, cool, I trust you. Okay. Now, and then the last way, this is really where it's really important to have frameworks, is training down. So you guys all know what 10-10-10 is. Anybody who's been here for long enough knows what chef is, as 2 examples. Hell, Matt just even remembered what, why, so what is. If I just was saying these things, like, so make sure you tell your boss what's going on, make sure you tell your boss why that's happening. You want to make sure you're explaining, what you're going to do about it. Here's an example, here's an example, here's an example. You're not going to pick up the pattern. Whereas if I say on a call, hey, make sure you're getting, what, why, or so what from the client at the end of the call, you're like, cool, I can remember that. That's like memory muscle memory, if you will. Okay. So Mike, what do I do with this? If you're interviewing or considering interviewing, what you want to do right now is you want to think through the top 4, 5 questions you're going to get. Basically, it's going to be some version of, how do you forecast? How do you motivate a team? How do you build a team? How do you manage a team? Whatever. A few questions. Go to ChatGPT and ask them. Answer those questions just openly. Like open up ChatGPT even and just like answer like from your brain. And then think through what were the categories of what I just said. If I had to put what I just said into 2 chapters, 3 chapters, 4 chapters, what would those chapters? And then you now have your framework. Hey, I really feel like I have 4 pillars of how I lead: personal, professional, KPIs, and something else. Okay. If you have a manager who's micromanaging you, just remember what, why, so what, and use that as your framework, and feel free to state it before you talk to your manager. All right, I'll tell you what's happening, why it's happening, so what's going on. That will give you the time to actually get everything out. And if you are coaching any team or training any team before you train them, same thing. Feel free to dump it in the ChatGPT and have it tell you for you, but just think through what are the categories so I can make a name out of this. And the silly names are fine, as long as it's memorable.
Hey, Mike, I'm assuming when you're managing down, you are asking your team to give you the what, why, so what, right? And when they report.
Correct. In fact, I just ran a meeting this morning for this company, and I was like, we went to the scorecard section, and I was just like, this guy's name is Chris Lemon. I was like, Lemon, I want to know what's happening, why it's happening, and so what. And he's like, you got it. And it significantly changes how they come back to you. So do that if you're a manager. Otherwise, you're going to get a big, long story, which we don't want. Clarifications in here, pushback in here. What about this? What about that? Okay. I think I'm just going to stick with communication for today's topic because I feel like I've got a few things here I want to go through. The next thing I'll say for communication is direct is kind. If you watch any show, maybe this is on my mind. I watch Love is Blind. Sue me. It's my favorite show. Okay. I just finished Love is Blind. I just finished Love is Blind UK today. So I can get in the 3rd Love is Blind. And at the end, there's always people who get together and they break up, right? Of course. They get married and they break up. And what is the crying spouse or ex-spouse saying every time? I just want to understand why. So they're just like, people want to understand why. So being direct is actually much more kind. Here's what I mean. When you say to a rep, yeah, man, I mean, keep hustling on it. We're going to figure this thing out. When you know this rep is not going to make it, you're being a dick. I made a joke post the other day that was like, if you want to know you're about to get fired, if you're not performing well and your boss is being really, really nice to you. So oftentimes what we do is we're nice to people that we're insecure about. We're like uncomfortable around because we know we're going to fire them. Oftentimes we feedback sandwich people. Great job, but you got to watch out how you're doing this. But at the end of the day, hey, you're working. And these things are not clear to people. Whereas what they want is to be the crying ex-spouse going, what do you want? It's like the fucking Ryan Reynolds guy. He was like, what do you want? From The Notebook, if you remember that scene or meme. But so what you want to do is be like, you are not performing at the level I'm expecting you. Boom. So if there are things you need to say, just say them directly. One way that I soften this, though, is I say, this is going to be really uncomfortable. You ready? I don't want to have this conversation. This sucks. And I'll be like, hey, your performance is not where it needs to be. This is putting us in a spot where you might need not have a job here, dude. So I don't want to give you the disservice of saying, keep it up, keep trying. I want to give you the honesty of saying it's not where it needs to be. And if it's not where it needs to be in a week, we're not going to have you here. There's a guy I hired. I'm like, it's not that important. I kind of just like hired him out of charity in a way. But I said to him, yesterday, I go, Anthony, this week is a make or break for you. This is a small test for me, and I'm going to go focus on something else. If you don't get 5 meetings this week, I'm not going to have you working here anymore. His response, totally understand, appreciate everything so far. I want you to succeed. I think you have a great product. Whatever comes next, I appreciate you. So just be direct with people. Okay. The next thing, if somebody coming up, the next thing is I am going to say the pause down pause one more time because we have some newer folks in here. Pause down pause. Every TED Talks sounds the same. You'll never guess what happened on the 3rd day of July. I was sitting outside minding my own business, and my dog came crawling up the stairs right at my feet. Little did I know, my dog had 2 messages for me from the neighbor, and I had no idea that it was going to change my life. I've sucked you guys in. What I'm doing is right before the last syllable or two, I'm pausing. Right in that last syllable, I'm actually lowering my voice, typically volume, but pitch, and then I'm pausing again. It's almost like when you're giving your credit card to like the lady on the customer service line. You're like 623-52-649, that kind of thing. But so I want you guys to hear it again. The pause, down, pause. You'll never guess what happened the 1st day of July. My dog came after me, and he was coming, scampering up the steps, and it stopped right at my feet. Little did I know, today was going to actually be one of the first days of the next chapter. So where would I use this, Mike? Fucking everywhere. You're talking to a customer. Hey, I'm actually the leader here. I wanted to help make sure that he has he has somebody to train him. I want to actually help you as well. There's a couple things we're going to go over. Can't wait to see how it goes. Talking to your boss. All right, let me jump in. There's a couple things I want to show you. I want to tell you what's happening, why it's happening, what the heck I'm doing about it. You ready? Cool. To your team. Hey guys, we're going to run this training today. It's important that you do 10, and then you do 10, and at the end, you also do 10. Questions on that. Okay. So you can see how it sucks you in, it clarifies it, and it makes it memorable. Again, clarification on this, pushback on this. This is a weird one, but it does make an impact. Sweet.
Well, Mike, have you used it recently? Or, you were talking about the rep that you didn't call on Monday and kind of let him be when he wasn't producing. Do you have another real life example
Of the pause down pause?
or like the communication style that like when it worked or somebody was a little confused? Like, yes, I guess.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the pause down pause, if you were talking about the
What I was just referring to, do you have like a real life scenario where it clicked for somebody where it hadn't previously using that method?
Yes. Actually, today I was talking to somebody who's going for a new job, and he's just in a weird situation. And where is it? How did I say it there? No. That I'm reading fucking your shit. Yeah. So I'm like, he's going to his performance review, and I was like, hey man, there's a variety of things you had in your performance review, blah 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 blah. And he was taking no notes and wasn't paying attention. And he was paying attention, but I could tell he was just sort of like, And then I was like, all right, you know what? Can you give me a second? And then I wrote down here, and I was like, okay, realistically, there's 4 things that you need to get right with your boss. Just that tone. He started picking up his notepad. I also find, by the way, whenever you lost talking listicles, there's 3 things, 2 things, 4 things. People remember to be like, oh shit, I should take notes. So it's like a very common thing I do, by the way. But I was like, hey, there's 4 things we have to get right: goal, SWOT, next steps, and KPIs. And he was like, oh, okay, now I get what you're saying. This happened like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for the push to be like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I fucking eat my own dog food, drinking my own champagne. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Now, the last thing I'm going to say here, and I'll leave it a little bit, maybe I can go to a different topic, but this is kind of all I have in this topic right now. At least I may have something different in a minute. You can use your tone of voice to stop complaining. So when people complain, we complain until the point that we are told to shut the fuck up, because we just, it feels good to complain. This place sucks. Can you believe the line? It's so freaking long. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, it feels good. And anybody here says they don't complain, fuck you, you're lying. You complain all the time. I do, we all do. To get your team to stop complaining, because they are, and it's really fucking annoying, is you put up a brick wall. So I've talked about this brick wall for negotiation. people will negotiate and ask for more and more and more and more and more until they feel there's a brick wall. People will complain more and more and more until they feel there's a brick wall. So whenever you do the things like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, no, totally get it, man. Sure. You know, maybe we'll go back to my boss, or like, yeah, we'll try to figure. I know it's tough, man. I know it's tough. All that stuff just like makes like a rubber wall, and they can keep going for it, even though they really don't want to. So the brick walls, you want to just be, again, very direct. Hey, this complaining isn't going to work. If it truly is that big of a deal, I don't think you should work here. And I'm happy to get you wherever you want to go, dude, because it sucks for you to have to work somewhere that's that frustrating. That's the brick wall. If you have reps complaining, you can literally say, dude, I totally get it, man. And if it's that hard for you to handle and it's like that annoying, I will find you a new gig. Do you want me to find a couple new gigs for you? Because this isn't going to work here to have all the complaints. But I'd love working with you. I don't want you to be upset. That stops it in the tracks. Okay. Tony, go ahead.
And is that like a pattern interruption where you're looking to just have them make a call of like, do you want to be here or not? And if you do, like, stop complaining. And if you don't, then let's just have that conversation.
Very, very, very close. I don't actually want them to not work here or like, you know, consider leaving or whatever. But what it does is it gets the person to it puts a mirror up to it. When you're like, I totally get it, I'm absorbing. I totally get it, I'm absorbing. When I go, hey man, if you want to leave because like this sucks so bad, then we can get you a new job. It pushes it right back in their face. Like, do you want to do the thing that the implication of what you're saying is you should leave. So when you hear that back, it makes you go like, yeah, you know what, this isn't that big of it. So no, it pattern interrupt. Yes. I don't want them to actually leave. I want them to see how dumb it would be to leave. Great question. Thank you for the question. All right. Thing I'm going to say here too is if things are not going well, you cannot be Captain Positivity. There's a real line we're riding here, guys. When our job as the manager is to a lot of our job is insulating. I want everybody up here to bitch and moan and talk about how, oh my God, the company is going to go under and how we're going to fulfill all of these 2-day shipments. We're Amazon. All of our trucks just got fucked up. Like, I want us to have that discussion and everyone else to just hear we're chugging along, because 95 times out of 100, all these issues over here end up being nothing anyways. And so you don't want to have your team shower with all of the like potential issues that will inevitably turn to nothing anyways, creating like a whole bunch of discourse. However, if nobody's hitting their target, there are no leads coming in, there is no world where anybody's ever going to make any money in the company, like every month everything's fucked and there's no way around it and you don't see a path forward, you being like, wait another month, we got this is going to have an expiration date. There will be a point where there's a mutiny of like, you don't get me, you're not getting it, you're not hearing us, I don't want to work for you, or I don't want to work hard for you. So it's important that we are saying like, this is wicked fucking hard. And I've said oftentimes when I've been in tough situations, if anybody does not want to be here, I will help you get out, because I think it's bullshit that you're not making the money we said you're going to make. At the end of the day, yes, I work for the company, but guys, I care about you guys. So if you're not making the money you want to make and you're not happy being here, I will help you leave. For those of you that do want to stick around, it's not going to be easy. Like this kind of, we're going to have things that suck. There's going to be things that we can't complain. We can't change. But I'm going to try to be as positive as I can. I just want you guys to know, like, I fucking hear you. This isn't a rah-rah football speech. Like, we're going to claw for every inch. This is just like, I fucking hear you, dude. Because if they don't feel like you hear them, they will create their own cliques that do feel like they hear them. And then those cliques get bigger and bigger and creates community.
Now,
You guys
Mike,
have probably
tell me
seen
this. Like, do you have like an event or something that you center this around, like a town hall, or is it just something individual, like a one-on-one?
If it's oftentimes this will be if it's like immediate, I'll say it this way. There's 3 places that it ends up going. It either goes in a one-on-one, if I think it's a one-on-one issue, like it's just Joe's upset, whatever. It goes in a Monday mashup if it's important and it's like kind of timely. But oftentimes I find it going in the quarterly offsite where it's like, hey, here's how the quarter went, blah, 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 blah. But typically more, it's like, another fucking change? Holy shit, this place sucks. And I got to be like, yeah, dude, this place does suck. Mm-hmm. We're here. You guys all can leave, but it does suck. And so if you're cool with being in a place that does suck, we should be the best version of ourselves at a place that sucks. If you don't want to be in a place that sucks, then we'll get the fuck out. Let's do it. But I hear you, dude, and I'm going to do everything I can. If you're going to work with me, I'm going to work with you. Are you in this thing or what? Tony Reyes.
I had the exact same question, whether that was a group or an individual conversation.
Yeah, but oftentimes it's a group. By the way, I know we're over time here, but what I'll say is this: all the stuff that we talk about builds on each other, or like sleeps with each other, which is to say, those values that I've talked about before, where it's important that you have some level of values with the team. That you're like, what do you guys care about? What do you not care about? What do you want to be like? What do you not want to be considered? So you have like 2-3 values that can be really helpful when things are tough. Because a lot of times it's like, hey, like I know that it sucks here or whatever. We're not getting the leads, but like I also know that we're the kind of team that perseveres, handles challenges, and is very respectful. So for the people that do align with those values, because I'm creating the values are important because it creates a bit of an identity that people want to live up to, versus 1,000 different variables that people are just like subject to. If that makes sense. Cool.
If I could add one thing, I found like one person's energy can totally change a group, right? They come in and they're negative and bam, everybody feeds on it and starts driving that train towards the negative energy. So, on the one-on-one addressing it, if it's a consistent issue, makes a lot of sense to help align towards those values you're talking about.
Yeah, like if that is the issue, in fact, I wouldn't talk to the whole team like, hey, it sucks, whatever. But I would go to that one rep and be like, hey man, I'm with you and whatever. So I can like solve the rep is the issue of the negativity. So I can get this rep to shut the fuck up. Then the group issue becomes a non-issue. So I'll do that. Also, side note, all of this like quick win stuff I've talked about, where like you want to keep making deposits and helping reps so you can pull withdrawals out. If that were happening, what you just said, I would actually like have that conversation. And then the end of that meeting, I can almost guarantee would be, and can you just shut the fuck up in the meetings, dude? Like you're fucking my team up. I just need you to shut the fuck up in the meetings. You want to bitch about it? Please bitch about it to me. Shut the fuck up in those meetings. And they'll be like, yeah, man, totally.
Got you.
Great.
Totally makes sense.
So, yeah, that's important to be able to pull that deposit, that withdrawal out because of the deposit you put in, so you can help the entire team.
Yeah.
All right. Now we'll run. Love you all. See ya.
Peace. Did you go there, Andre? Wait, you're muted.
I did not, but I'm hoping my son does the same.
Oh yeah, he just got in and
Congrats. Where are you?
Yeah. What?
Where do you live? Like, where do you guys live?
LA.
Okay. All right. So
My wife is, like their engineering program is really good.
Phenomenal.
And they do a ton of corporate events. Like, so while you're at school, they help you get internships. They help you get placed after school. They have a really big connected network. So, she was like, he's got it, and, but he wants to go to Berkeley or to Columbia.
Okay.
And they're all great schools. He's gotten in a lot of schools. Is your son applying?
So we're starting to think about it. We're starting to go start the process.
What grades he?
So is a sophomore.
Sophomore. Oh yeah, it's early.
So it's early, but we want to get him so that way we have a good idea of what we want to focus in on, different career paths, and then what school can advance that.
Yeah,
I just remember when I went to school, I had no idea. I knew I liked certain subjects.
But I'm kind of like, I interview kids for my college. And what's this? I'm good. I had different, I interview kids from my college that I went to, and, oh, you can't hear now?
So when you do that, you want to show late, because you're a good quarterback is going to pick up and audible out of that. Like when you get into your coverage, you show that late. So yeah, drop back. What are you, freshman?
Oh, I thought you were talking about my actual